Hello hunters, Peppo here, welcome back to my channel. Today, during the State of Play event, Capcom has honored us with a new trailer of Monster Hunter Wilds, and so now we are going to have a deeper look into it and hopefully try to get a better catch of some of the new elements introduced in this trailer. At the very beginning we see a sailboat sailing on the sand, which can't help but remind us of the Monster Hunter Tri trailer, where you can see almost the exact same boat sailing in the Great Desert. That's the trailer introducing Gen Moran, and it's really hard not expecting such a huge beast when looking at this trailer. However, unlike Monster Hunter Tri, this boat is not a dragon ship, as it doesn't have a Dragonator at the stern, nor it has a gong on the deck, which most likely means we are not going to fight Gen Moran sadly, or at least not on this specific ship. The next scene introduces the protagonist and hunter we play as. It is already confirmed that we will create the character, as we did in Monster Hunter World. At the same time we spot our returning companion, the Palico, which wasn't present in the reveal trailer. Both the hunter and the Palico will be fully voiced this time around, but hopefully there will be an option to turn off voices like in Monster Hunter Rise, or at least change the dialogues to the Monster Hunter language. For cutscenes and cinematics I wouldn't mind, but hearing my character or even worse my Palico talking in the middle of the hunt could easily get annoying in my opinion. We also get to know two new NPCs, Gemma, the Smithy, this blonde and blue-eyed girl, and Alma, our new handler, who already looks nicer than Ward's one. Some people notice an interesting similarity between Gemma and the little Miss Forge from Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. She could probably be her adult version. What's more, in this official render, we can clearly see the Kyankutku plushie, which could be a reference to the Guildmarm of Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, and a reference to For You could also be the Caravanier's jacket she is wearing. We know that this little boy will play an important role in the story, as we can expect from this short flashback. And here's the desert, where we can spot a pack of monsters we already saw in the reveal trailer, and here a new monster which will be later introduced. The setting here is just beautiful, and reminds me of the African savanna. On the top of the screen there is a small flying wyvern, similar to the winged drake of Ward, and we get to know the name of these small monsters already introduced in the reveal trailer, the Keratanov. In this scene there are new types of herbivores, known as Daltidon, similar to Castodon. One of them is bitten by a crocodile-like creature. Here we get a glimpse of new carnivorous monsters, similar to Velociprey. This monster could be the alpha male of this pack. His fur tends to red, and he looks bigger and more aggressive. It reminded me of Gosarag from Monster Hunter Rise, and in fact it is a fanged beast. Its name is Doshaguma. In this short clip I thought for a moment this was a longsword on the back of the hunter, but unfortunately it's just the same greatsword we see in the reveal trailer and later in this one. This Alpha Doshaguma is really similar to Gosarag, but instead of running on two legs, it seems this one is a regular quadruped, as it runs on its four legs, and another difference is its long tail, which Gosarag doesn't have. In the same scene we see the hunter using a new tool, the Hook Slinger, to pick up some rocks on the ground, which then throws using the slinger to trigger a boulder. We already know from the official website that many actions will be possible to use while mounting the Sacred, this animal mount similar to the Palamute of Monster Hunter Rise, almost like a bird since it has feathers and wings which use to glide. While mounting this creature we can use the slinger, consume items to recover HP, sharpen and gather materials. The Sandstorm is once again shown also in this new trailer, as to indicate its key role in this new world. Here a pack of Doshaguma are trying to escape from what looks like an environmental trap, similar to what we can find in Rise Sandy Plains. At the bottom of this hole we can barely see a creature spinning underground, which looks like it is the one responsible for setting this trap. Maybe it's the alpha of those crocodile-like creatures we saw earlier? In this scene we finally have some gameplay. The hunter is wielding a greatsword. I wonder if this time we will have this weapon at the start of the game. It would be interesting if they decided to change the starting weapon once again. Not that it would have much importance to me, as I would switch to longsword immediately after anyway. An intriguing action is shown in this moment, where Doshaguma throws a Keratanoth against the hunter. Looks like monsters will be more aware of the surroundings and will interact more with it. Interesting. And here's the monster we shortly saw at the beginning. Its name is Chatacabra. It is an amphibian like the Pteranodon, and in my opinion it is a mix of Tetsukabra, Deviljaw and Pukepuke. It uses its tongue to attack and can even charge. Here we can hear a whistle sound, most likely done by the hunter, to call for help. In fact, a few seconds later, The Sacred, the bird-like palamute which we already saw in the reveal trailer, comes in to help and get the hunter out of harm's way. It reminds of the wirefall mechanic from Monster Hunter Rise, although it looks like it won't be as fast as that. This seems to be a turf war between the Chatacabra and those little carnivores we saw earlier in the trailer. I just hope these small monsters will not regularly interrupt the hunt, but it's more of a trap that can be triggered somehow in a certain place. Also, all of a sudden the hunter has an HPG on his back, and then Greatsword again. How is that possible? Well, it's all revealed in the next footage, where we see the hunter mounting the Sacred and swapping weapons. So yeah, we were right about that from the very first trailer. In Monster Hunter Wilds, you will be able to change weapons in mid-hunts, without the need of returning back to the camp. Although this looks incredibly engaging and might open up new ways to hunt down monsters, it is also important to consider if we will only change weapons, or if we will completely swap loadouts, including armor, jewels and charms. In other words, all the skills. Just changing weapons could be a little problematic, especially if we have the intention to play with a melee weapon and then switch to a ranged one. I can see this bringing up many questions. Hopefully they will explain this new mechanic more in depth soon. And finally, the most captivating scene from this trailer. The hunter is entering a special stance with the Greatsword. This is probably the focus mode that we can read about in the official website. Referring to this new game mechanic, on the PlayStation blog it says, in focus mode, hunters will have more precise control over how they guard, aim and attack in order to target a monster's weak points for big damage. Focus mode makes it easier to adjust your distance to the monster and aim your attacks, making the distinctive Monster Hunter hunting action more accessible to a wider variety of players. Some weapons will also feature distinctive moves that can only be used in this mode. This explanation sounds a bit vague, and unfortunately in English there is nothing else about this focus mode. However, on the Japanese PlayStation blog we can get more information. Let me thank Shinkri who reported the translation on his Twitter account. Here he reports new gimmicks that are not mentioned in the official website. It starts with introducing injuries, scratches or wounds, depending on the future official translation. A new system that creates weak points on a monster's body. By repeatedly attacking specific parts, wounds are gradually created, temporarily turning them into weak points. Hold on a moment, did you hear that? This looks like the new tenderizing mechanic of Monster Hunter Wilds. It seems the clutch claw will not return in this game, thanks goodness. The tenderizing mechanic will return, however, but this time in order to tenderize a body part, you need to repeatedly attack that specific part, which would make sense. You keep hitting one part of the body until you inflict an injury and then exploit that by further attacking it. I like the idea, it's already way better than the clutch claw's tenderizing mechanic. The second topic explained is focus mode, the state in which you are aiming your attack or guard. When in focus mode, the scout flies will turn red to indicate a monster's wounds or weak spots. And we can see that in the trailer. On the PlayStation blog there's even an image showing Chatacabra with 2 injuries, on the head and on the hind leg, and the red scout flies flying right above those wounds. Then Shinkri reports an explanation on the focused weak point attack. When you hit a monster wound/vital spot, probably referring to the injury scratch system, it will transition into a special variant that can deal massive damage. From this we can understand that a special attack will be performed when you are in focus mode, and you hit one of those injuries you inflicted on the monster. It's something extremely interesting, but so far it's hard to get a precise idea of how this is going to play out. Clutch Claw looked really cool back then before Iceborne's release, but later it turned out to be trash. I really hope with all my heart that this is not going to be the case for this new system. I want to have faith in Tsujimoto. Lastly, Shinkri reports something about the dynamic battle. Depending on the weapon type, you can time your attack with a monster's attack to knock it away, and there are new actions that can lead to powerful follow-up attacks. Also, when guarding against some monster attacks, dynamic battles can occur. Basically, we can parry monsters' attacks with our weapon attacks and gain opening by knocking them away. This is what we see in the trailer. The follow-up attack must be this Greatsword move. So many new information that makes my head spin. Oh my god. At the very end we can also partially see the Longsword Hunter performing a step slash chained with a special sheath, which means we have really high chances of seeing the return of the Iceberry Slash once again, And at this point I wonder which other iconic moves will return from 5th generation. Force Slash, Helmbreaker, I can't wait to find out more. After rewatching this trailer over and over, I have so many questions and I really hope we will get answers soon. Like for example this focus mode I previously talked about, is it gonna be time limited? Can we use it from the beginning of the hunt? Are there any requirements that need to be met to unlock it? Please let me know in the comments what you think about this. Well, let's finish watching the last part of the trailer. Here we get to know a new character who looks like the commander of the research commission. He is incredibly similar to the Ace Lancer from 4 Ultimate, some 10 years older if not more. Once again another reference to that game. And here we can see the return of the SOS Flare from Monster Hunter World. I think everybody saw this coming. The 3 hunters joining the quest have respectively a hammer, a heavy bowgun and a longsword. If you pay attention to the hit effect when the hunter is guarding against that monster's attack, you can see the same particle effect of when earlier he timed that greatsword attack and got the stagger on the same monster. In both cases he was in focus mode. The first time he timed an attack and got that stagger, while the second time it looks like he perfect guarded the monster's attack and got this different animation which eventually I think will lead to another type of stagger or at least some sort of a new opening to exploit. One last observation about the fight is the absence of blood effect when you hit a monster, and I'm a little bit disappointed. I really wanted that hit effect to come back in Wilds. I don't like cutting through monsters' flesh and seeing rocks coming out of the wounds. Before ending this video, let me make some other considerations from what we can read about on the official website. In the Living World section we get to know how this new world is called, Forbidden Lands, and the locale we saw in the trailer is named Windward Plains. It is also written that each hunting locale features an environment with 2 dynamically changing identities, one in which the region is harsh and unforgiving, where ravenous monsters fight for limited resources, and another in which the region is vibrant and brimming with life. Doesn't this remind you of the seasons of the 2nd generation, Monster Hunter DOS? The more we know about this game, the more amazing everything looks. What's more, on the PlayStation blog there is also written that whenever we encounter a new monster while exploring a new locale, we will be able to begin that quest seamlessly, allowing for deeper immersion. This sounds great, a very welcome addition in my opinion. I know many of you hunters expected to play an open world hunting game, but I'm scared it is not going to be the case for Monster Hunter Wilds. They still haven't said anything about this, but as I see things, this division in locales will probably be the same as World, so it might probably just be an open map like the recent Monster Hunter titles, although I have to say it again, nothing has been confirmed yet. We just need to wait until the 8th of June, when a new trailer will be shown at the Summer Game Fest. I think we will get even more information, and as they already announced, a new monster will be revealed. Thanks everybody for watching this video. If you like it, please consider subscribing. And don't forget to leave a comment to let me know what you think about Monster Hunter Wilds and what we know so far from this game. Have a good day, bye!